Three, two, one. Rolling sound. Make a clap. Who are you?
My name is Amy Brink. I'm a creative in Atlanta, more specifically a photographer. I'm 32 years old. I'm a champion for empathy and kindness and love. Um, I'm just all around fun. I just want to have fun kind of person. I just love love. I'm sunshine and rainbows. Well, at least on the outside most of the time, I would say.
What was your childhood like? And what were some important lessons that you learned then that you carry with you today?
My childhood was dynamic, I would say. It was full of love from my parents, but also full of struggle and hardship in terms of like financially. Um, I grew up in Snellville, and my parents divorced when I was pretty young, or they separated when I was pretty young and divorced when I was in high school. I want to say they separated when I was in second grade. But so that had a big impact on my life in terms of like not having two support systems to be there to, support me and what I wanted to do. So that I kind of felt like what I wanted to do in terms of like my dreams and passions, I felt like that kind of fell through the cracks because, they're dealing with what they got to go through. Like my mom, she's a lesbian and my dad is gay. So they figured that out while I was, young. And that's like a whole life you have to dedicate to figuring out yourself. And like you can't really be there for somebody if like you're trying to figure yourself out. I mean, of course you can. There's always balance, but not everybody achieves that balance. So I would say um that I kind of struggled with. But in terms of like the positive stuff, my parents were very loving and supportive in other ways. um like the arts, like I'm big into art. That's one thing that took me out of being like sad about my living situation. Like my mom was a hoarder, so like my house was full of stuff. So like getting out and like kind of like disassociating in a creative way was like, really good for me. And my parents supported me in doing like artistry and, painting and stuff like that, photography. But my childhood was good. I don't regret anything. I really feel like it was meant for me to go through every single thing that I went through in order to get to where I am today, in order to impact the people who I would like to impact in the future.
How does a flower grow?
A flower grows from soil. And I want to be specific when I say soil, it's not dirt, it's soil. It's full of nutrients. It's from the earth, which is the mother. It grows through rocks, which can be obstacles. It grows through other life forms like worms and stuff like that, bugs that are in the dirt, the soil. Bugs are in the soil. Um, Basically it needs where it comes from in that dark place in order to get into the place where we see it as its finest, in its floral form. But yeah, it grows from the soil.
Please give me a random number from 1 to 90.
How about 89?
How do you wish to be remembered?
I wish to be remembered as a kind person, an empathetic person, a person who sees other people for who they are, a person who leads with love. That's definitely the kind of way I want to be remembered. I want people to remember me and have like a feel good feeling in their heart. And, I hope not one of pain, even though sometimes you can't really stop hurting people, just from being yourself. That happens, which is just kind of how life goes. You be yourself and hurt people sometimes. But yeah,
Please give me another number from 1 to 90.
32.
Why did your last relationship end?
My last relationship ended because she wasn't my forever person, and I felt that, like, on, like, a deep level. Um, she liked to do stuff that really wasn't my jam, and it just didn't really vibe with my, like, creative side. She liked to watch TV and, watch movies, and I like to paint and do jewelry and take pictures and make music. So I ended that relationship and it was tough. It was only 2 months, but I felt like I did a good job at ending it when I did because you don't want to drag somebody else along. You know what I'm saying? Like it's it's not for me. It's not for me.
Please give me another number from 1 to 90.
72.
What is your most cherished childhood memory?
My most cherished childhood memory. I would say the time that I was in kindergarten and I was working on the easel on the artboard easel, and I was painting, and then I flipped to the very back of the canvas and I was like, "You know what? I'm going to paint my name." And I painted my name. And at that point I knew I was an artist because I was like, "I'm signing my name on this. Like this is mine." The teacher asked me, "Amy, did you paint your name on this?" I said, "No, I did not." So I learned to never, use my name in graffiti, or if I was vandalizing something, as an artist does sometimes. I never did made that mistake again, but just knowing that you are an artist and that is something that you're passionate about and that you can continue to do, it's just yes, yes for this.
Please give me another number from 1 to 90.
How about 9?
At what time in your recent past have you felt the most passionate and alive? How can you bring that passion to your everyday life?
I would say the most passionate I've felt is actually making a song about my recent breakup. And, like, I realized because my watch was like, "Girl, your heart rate is racing too fast." And I was like, "Oh my god, I guess I'm just really excited about this song." So, I mean, I made, like, a song while we were together, ended up breaking up, and then I finished the song with, like, the switch up. Like, the it's "We're not together anymore" kind of vibes. So it was just really exciting, and, it was fun making it because I don't get to make as much music as I want to, and I feel like, you know, just chasing after the things that make my heart race are gonna really make me feel like I'm thriving in life. So, adding more music into my life, like I've been doing some covers, which has been fun. But there's nothing like making your own music and like producing it yourself. It's really fulfilling.
Please give me another number from 1 to 90.
82.
Where does happiness come from? Define what happiness means to you.
Happiness comes from within, I would say. Happiness comes from within. It's really um it's that feeling that you get when you're just like overcome, like a wave washes over you and your whole body gets goosebumps and you're just feeling like grateful for the moments that you're like living. Those moments to me are happiness, like living in gratitude and feeling grateful. That is like pure bliss. So, happiness could be like, drinking your favorite coffee or walking your dog, but, like, like, having gratitude is just, to me, like, happiness for sure.
Please give me one final number between 1 and 90.
99.
How would you summarize your life's purpose?
My life's purpose, I would summarize that by saying that I want to lead an empathetic life. So, by leading an empathetic life, I'm showing other people how to be empathetic and thus show other people how to be empathetic. thus changing the world, like leading with love and trusting your gut and like knowing your heart and just being true to yourself. I feel like that's the ways that I want to be remembered in the world and that really speak to me.
How do you find meaning in your daily experience? What propels you through life?
I was gonna say, like little boosts of dopamine propel me through life. Um, but I find meaning in life or like the joys in life in the small things. It's like the little things that come together, that collect, that condense into something bigger that make you happy, you know? Um, it's really all about, boiling down all the small stuff and creating that delicious ramen broth that's gonna propel you, into the next day with its nutrients or something like that.
What has the experience of living been like for you to this point? What can people learn from your life?
The experience of living, like I said about my childhood, was dynamic or has been dynamic. Um, and people could learn, gosh, I mean, people can just learn to trust themselves and to like surrender to a higher power that could be taking care of them no matter what happens. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of letting go and letting God, you know what I'm saying?
All right. This is the final question and the reason we're here. So, life is fleeting. We never know when it's our time. If these were your last words that were ever recorded, what would you say about your life and legacy?
If these were the last words that were ever recorded of me, my life and legacy would start out with love. Love is the reason for the season. Um, Empathy, of course, creative expression that I feel is important for every single person to have on this planet. Even if you're not a creative person, I feel like you need some sort of creative outlet. Um, just, you know, it's all about love and kindness and empathy. I mean, what else can I say?
I'll ask you one final time.
Mhm.
Who are you?
My name is Amy Brink, and I'm an artist in Atlanta.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap.